Okay. Hey. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you have joined us today. I am Priya Patra, and I am the lead of Women PowerUp Network. Welcome everyone to this event. A very, very critical topic: benefits management versus value realization, with Maria Sansom. We also have our leads on the call today. We have Grace, our Africa region lead. Grace, please, would you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, Priya. Sorry, I'm in a very noisy environment. Welcome all. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Grace. And we do have our V mentor lead, Andrea. Andrea, you are on the call today. Okay, so looks like Andrea is yet to join us. No problem. Our editor of our newsletter, Empowered, Olufonke, could not join in. She has a speaking engagement at this point of time. And Fanny is also enjoying her vacation with her mother today in Spain. And so they are not in here. Cecilia is there with us virtually in spirit. She is teaching a class today. So yeah, today everyone is busy. And but we also do have Mariana, our volunteer, who is in a break now, but she has joined us today from Slovenia. So Mariana, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Oh, it's Mariana, not Maria.
It is
Sorry,
Mariana.
that was me. I just heard the first bit and I'm not
Yes.
used to.
Okay.
Actually,
Hello.
today I am here from Croatia because we went on a holiday. This is the first day of our holiday. Hi.
Excellent. So good. Enjoy your holiday, Mariana.
Thank
Please say
you.
hello to each other. Thank you, Mariana. Please say hello to each other and let us know from where you have joined in today. And you can take the Menti poll, which is on your screen. It's menti.com, and the code is 47625274. There are some housekeeping rules which we follow in our events. Do remember that we are here to celebrate women leadership. We are all speaking on individual capacity. Our views do not expressed here do not represent our organization that we work for. The meeting has been recorded. If you are uncomfortable in any ways, please feel free to hop out. Else, you are welcome to join the celebration. And before we start, like always, I will talk a little about our community and what we have done last month. Of course, we always start with the mission and vision of our community. Our Women Power Up Network was incepted in on January 26, 2020. We are not a business, but we are a community with a purpose. And our community is huge, actually. Some 863 women we have in our groups. Yeah, yes, you must be saying why no one is here. Well, yes, it's because of the time zone, work pressure. Yes, people cannot join in all the time, but we do get a lot of feedback on our recordings. We have around 4,000 subscriber for our newsletter, which is an empowered newsletter. We'll talk about it a little more in the subsequent slides. Our vision is to empower with the right support and the skill to transform the future. And of course, right now we are providing this platform where we call in some inspiring women leaders so that we can learn from each other, we can power each other up. We believe that you really do not need to be a subject matter expert to help each other. Even good enough people can help each other. And when such good enough people come together, we definitely power each other up. And together we definitely rise. And as I said, we have around 863 members in our groups. But before we move on, here are our partners. We have a lot of community partners. Agnostic Agile is one of them. Agile in Education, PMI Slovenia, PMI Buenos Aires, Argentina, PMO officers, IAPM, Agnostic Agile, as we said, and the latest is Scrum Day, London. Our technology partner is We Are Ready Now. They do a lot of cool things, so do visit their website. They do a lot of cool things on AR, VR, digital twinning, which is like pretty exciting. And I was just talking about our newsletter, Empowered. And we have like right now, last time I saw it was 3,999 subscriber. Hopefully we have made it to 4,000. Mariana, did we touch the 4,000? Do you know? So we are actually hoping to reach the milestone of 5,000 by the end of the year. And our editor, Onfanke, from Nigeria, has done a great job in giving a facelift to this newsletter. It is our one-stop solution to connect with the community. We have a member spotlight section in that newsletter. So if any one of y'all want to be spotlighted, do reach out to us. I will put the link on the chat window so that you can submit your candidature to be spotlighted. And since Cecilia is not here, I will talk about the last month's event. Last month event was awesome. I mean, it was very energetic, and it was really we could step into our personal power to kind of change the world, empower yourself, and change the world. And this was with Rocio Preseno. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. And she was the vice president candidate of the country of Colombia last year. She is also the co-author of Social Impact Agile Manifesto, and she gave us a very, very inspiring talk. If you had missed the session, you can also always look up our YouTube channel for the recording. But even if you don't have time to look at the recording, here is a visual representation, visual summary of the entire session done by our team member Fanny. And Fanny does that for all our sessions. Today she's not here live, but she will definitely go through the recording and create a visual summary like this. And with this, over to you, Mariana, to introduce the speaker of the day and the session.
Thank you, Priya. So today's topic will be benefits management versus value realization. Are we doing enough? And before we start, I would like to introduce Maria. Maria is highly experienced, enthusiastic individual with over 7 years service management experience in the IT sector. She is experienced in seeking and adopting best practice and implementing improvements within multiple teams across a wide range of locations. A member of BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT and ITSMF UK. She is certified ITIL strategic leader and managing professional and she is a holder of certificates for DevOps, Agile, and CMMI. With experience delivering service management training to individuals new to the industry, both internally to BT and in partnership with ITSMF UK. Maria Sansom from Germany, greetings, and the microphone is yours.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. I'll just share my screen. There we are. Hopefully you can see that, but any issues, let me know. So for today's session, it's going to be an introduction both to myself and for the session today. And then we're going to take a look at what is benefit and value realization. Are they the same thing? I'm going to give you a bit of food for thought on that, and then there will be any questions, obviously you can drop them in the chat throughout. Please don't wait until the end, that's absolutely fine. And apologies, it is a bit of more of a learning curve and knowledge intensive session more than a bit of a free flow. I don't know how I can make benefits seem fun, to be fair, so any suggestions are welcome, but yeah, let's get into it. So as the introduction says, my name is Maria Sansom. My current job title, I am a cloud security and cloud business development manager, and the business I work for is BT Business, and the industry is IT and telecommunications. 8 years in service management now. Recently became an ITIL4 master as well, and as it says, BCS professional member. I never actually dreamed of IT being the profession that I went into. It's just something I kind of fell into, but it has definitely served me well, to be honest. And I'm glad that I took the leap into doing something that I'd never done before, and also someone was able to take that chance on me. So I'm currently studying at the moment for my international diploma in business analysis. So hence why I'm a professional member at BCS, and I still have a couple of units to take before do become accredited in that. So you will see things throughout the session that feed in from all kinds of areas, whether that be ITIL4, whether that be more from the project management side or from a business analysis point of view. And I think that it's fair to say that a lot of the terms across the board are very similar. There might just be the odd changes in, you know, the odd word here or there that one of the frameworks use. So one of the big things, obviously, within my role at the moment is using best practice and those frameworks to help shape the future of our company. And everybody has their own interpretation of things as well, which can make things a little bit challenging. However, today I'm talking to you based on my experiences and my knowledge and what I've learned over the years. And I do want you guys to obviously take that and also, you know, adapt it to how you see best. This is not me dictating to you how it should be done. This is just me giving you my view on benefits and value. So what the session is all about. So today, again, I plan to provide you just a take on the difference between benefit and value realisation, whilst discussing things to consider when looking at whether we're doing enough around benefits and value realisation, and to understand why both are equally important to the business. So the session objectives, so to provide an overview of benefits realisation, and provide an overview of value realisation, and then to explain why and how the two are connected. I would like, obviously, if you've got any Q&A, like I say, to carry on putting that through with that throughout the session. Don't feel like you have to hold off. And obviously, if you've got any thoughts or any top tips from your own experiences, please do pop them in the chat. I'm sure everybody will be grateful to have that knowledge as well and be able to share those tips and tricks. And here are session notes. So let's move on. So what is benefit and value realisation? So benefit realisation is a method for implementing, defining, planning and maintaining value within a service or asset you're delivering. And I'm pretty sure that most people, if there is no benefit, you would be asking, well, what is in it for you? And the company would also be asking you, what's in it for them? So is there the key question, is there any benefit or value to it? And if not, why would you want to continue with, for example, the project or initiative that you are advocating for. So I'd be interested to know, and again, please feel free to pop into the chat, how many people here are doing benefits realisation and management, just to give us an idea. And as we say, like almost all projects will incur a cost, and we hope that they yield benefits as well. But there is the balance, a balance to be considered, and that balance is costs and benefits. So when we are looking, when we've got our senior managers and stakeholders, we're obviously looking to make our initiative or project look attractive. And that's where the balance comes in, with the consideration of the costs and the benefits. And as always, some of these things are really easy to identify and others are less so. So identifying as many costs and benefits as possible at the point of option evaluation is key to making good investment decisions. And you also want to be able to give all the information up front. Obviously, we know that sometimes that benefits can also come out later on, that maybe we haven't thought of, and that's perfectly fine. However, for these key stakeholders and the management team to make a decision, they will want to be able to look at the whole picture. So making these costs and benefits as tangible, so in financial terms, as possible, will aid any decision making, so whether they give the green light for that project or initiative to go on. And we're in a world now, and everybody has kind of done this shift, probably without realizing, but we're all doing things a lot faster. Cheaper at the moment might be a debatable one. We're also doing things quicker. And sometimes people lose the understanding of what they're trying to deliver. Or necessarily they don't understand what they are trying to deliver. So, you know, how often do we see or hear, while someone is working on a project, what's the problem they're trying to fix? And then respond with, I don't know, I've just been asked to do it. I find a lot of the time that can be what happens. You just come along and you're like, okay, so your question when you get asked to do a piece of work, you'll say, so what are we doing here? What are we trying to fix? What's the end goal? It's a just do it. Just get on with it. Just make it work. It doesn't necessarily help me. I'll be completely honest. I like to understand, and I think this is kind of where my own mindset comes in. I'm a bit of a problem solver, so I like to understand what the problem is and go from there, because I feel like I can't resolve a problem without understanding what it is fully. And then the next thing is, well, what are we doing to benefit the business or the customer, or benefit both? If you don't understand, it becomes hard to see and acknowledge when you've kind of achieved what it is that you're supposed to be achieving. So I know when I've been doing a piece of work, I always ask the question, how can I fix the problem? And I guess this is where the benefit comes in. So if we can't see why we're doing it, again, how am I supposed to see what benefit I am providing and giving to either the business or the customer? And I think benefit realisation, benefit management has lost a bit of momentum over some time, just because ITIL 4 talks about value quite a lot. I don't know if many of you have done any of the courses for ITIL 4, but value is mentioned a lot, and we always link everything back to value. What's the value? Value creation, value streams. However, in those publications, there's very little talk around benefits realization and management. So it's almost as if it's been diluted by the importance of it. And we sometimes hear, and it has happened before, where it's just to tick a box ticking exercise, just pop one benefit down. It doesn't matter about the others. We haven't got time or resource, but we all know that projects are risky, and they can also be open to failure and can be quite costly as well. So without realizing these benefits, we could spend a whole lot of money and a whole lot of people's time as well doing a project or initiative and not actually getting anything out of it. So for me, if we can recognize upfront what we are trying to achieve as a business, and why we're trying to achieve it and how we're going to achieve it. So it's all about taking these little steps to help create this plan. It helps us to optimize the support environment, and it will help with costs, and it helps keep on track. So in theory, these little stepping stones that you take to be able to realize benefits, these stepping stones act as a bit of governance as well. And I'm sure every organization has seen this before, where we've started a project off, we're delivering it, and then halfway through, what you want to deliver might change. And this is fine. This is the agile way that we are working now. But then how many times, or who will go back to the business case to see if the benefits would still be the same, to review them and see what is the impact on those benefits? Because the benefits are clearly the outcome from where you are. So we should start looking at them in the business case, or if there's another plan that you're making and you're just listing them out, whatever it may be, to understand how throughout this transformation we get the benefits delivered. So with regards to delivering the benefits, we might decide for this project, the big bang approach is the one that we're going to take. But we might also take a look and think they're actually probably better off delivered incrementally. And when you're using a minimum viable product, you'll probably find that incrementally is kind of one of the ways that the benefits will be delivered, because obviously you're starting with something, you progress iteratively with feedback, and your benefits will start to come out in little forms as you're making changes. One of the things that we have to remember is that benefits are not delivered on the day that you deliver the program and close it. So a lot of the time, people not close to the project, like our senior management team, may go, well, that project closed a week ago. Why haven't you delivered on X, Y, Z? And it can be a very challenging to change somebody's mindset on how these things take form. And it can also be slightly frustrating as well, because, you know, if we think about like environmental impact, if you're going to be doing a project and you've got a benefit that benefits the environment, there is no way on the day that that project finishes that you can say, right, well, that new reservoir, for example, over there, all that new marshland over there, it's finished and the benefits are realised. Because in that instance, it could take 10 plus years for it to become how it should be, or how the business envisioned it to be. So we have to make sure that throughout that time, obviously, we would be reviewing and obviously looking to monitor if that benefit is coming through. You will start to see obviously little indicators that the benefit is going to come through. It just may take that little bit more time. And you can then make an informed decision on obviously whether that benefit is going to be fully received, or whether actually, you know, we delivered part of the benefit, but there's some follow-up actions that we probably need to do to realise the full benefit. So you can see on the screen we have the benefits realisation cycle. And it starts with obviously the identification of benefits right at the beginning. I've mentioned a business case. It might be a tender that you're putting together. And you might get the question, why is yours more unique over others? And well, part of the benefit stuff that you're expected to deliver has got to be your unique selling point, so that it stands out for that reason. So if you've got better benefits, you want that to be your selling point, and obviously it looks more attractive, as we previously mentioned. And I think it's important to remember benefits management is a process. It's process, and it's an outcome of that process. We go through the cycle, and it starts with obviously identifying perceived benefits, and we move it through continuously monitoring them through the program. And people will say, so when is the right time to identify the benefits? Is it day one when you're starting the project, or, you know, should we be waiting like 3-6 months, however long this project's going to take? But when you're setting out this plan, you know, you should be looking to start tracking from day one, because these little changes that you can do that may add to the benefit, you will start to see. So we should be tracking right from day one, right through to the end, and then thereafter as well. So some of you may or may not have heard of benefits plan. And benefits plan includes the following elements. So context of vision. So again, we're looking for the background for, you know, the project that provides a wider business context for the predicted benefits. We have benefit profiles, so a full description of each of the benefit, including the type of benefit. There's also an an element which is benefits dependency network. So it shows the dependencies between the benefit and the ultimate business objectives, and they're shown and linked. And then it looks at the responsibilities. So you tend to find that there is a benefit owner, and it tends to be a named individual who is tasked with ensuring that the benefit is achieved. And then tracking procedures. So this is the process for monitoring and reporting on the benefits. So as we've put in bold there, so once realised, the benefit needs to be sustained. So again, it doesn't just end once the project has ended. So benefits realisation, are you doing enough? So ask yourself, what are the benefits my project is due to deliver, whether that be financial benefits, customer benefits, or environment benefits? Keep a track. So is my project on track to deliver those benefits? Are you having regular calls with all your project team? You know, are you looking at these things and saying, actually, we're just veering a little bit off track there. I don't think we're going to hit this, you know, and then what remediate actions are you taking to get back on track if that is still the direction that the project is going in? Because obviously we mentioned on the previous slide that business cases can change, and that's completely fine. And then how will the benefit be sustained in life? So obviously by in life, what we mean is once that project has ended and, you know, it's kind of just normal run of the mill day, how will that be sustained? So benefits realisation helps you ensure optimal value and secures cost-efficient delivery of solutions and services. And there are two types of benefits. There's business benefits that contribute to the financial value, such as increased revenue, and intermediate benefits that are not immediately created, but they create value. So a couple of questions that was thought about for people to ask themselves. So, you know, the ones that we've just mentioned above. So what are the benefits my project is due to deliver? Is it on track? And how will it be sustained? And then we're also looking at the financial side as well, because obviously cost does link in with the benefits as well. And we have seen in the past where projects are stopped because they become too costly. So you have to do that impact assessment as well. So ask yourself, what's the impact of this benefit? Because when you come to prioritizing those benefits, so you've thought of all your benefits, you come up with 50. How do you say which ones are going to be your biggest wins, for example, and are going to give you the biggest return on this project? You know, you'd have to do some kind of impact assessment to say, right, okay, this is how it's sized, and that's how you're coming with the prioritization there as well. Because I'm pretty sure that, you know, if you was to submit in your business case, etc., 50 benefits, by the time people have read 3 that you've given an in-depth view into, they're probably not going to read the 47 rest of them. So pick out your top ones, but obviously you'll have done a like t-shirt sizing. an impact assessment on those to say these are the top 3 that we anticipate to hit during this project. So we typically hear that people say, oh, we do agile, so we don't have to do benefits because we do agile, and we deliver what the customer wants, and we deliver it every 2 weeks. Which is the way that most organizations have gone now. You do hear a lot of organizations say we're agile, or we're using DevOps, or we're using this. And sometimes it can be a bit of a buzzword bingo, we like to call it, because companies can say that they do these things, but do they actually, take on the guidance, for, look at the best practice frameworks and actually adopt everything that they could possibly adopt? Or does it become, like we say, the buzzword bingo? So they're delivering every 2 weeks, but people have to realize agile can deliver and does deliver benefits, but it's just delivered in a different way. And I think once people have understood that part of it, it will help bring benefits a bit more back to life, because in my personal opinion, I think agile is another way of people moving away from like benefits management and benefits realization, whereas again they're linked. You can definitely say what benefits you are going to deliver to that customer every 2 weeks throughout your sprints. So you still need to deliver benefit, otherwise why deliver anything? Pretty self-explanatory to me. It kind of goes hand in hand. We obviously want to know what we're delivering every 2 weeks is going to be of use. Again, mentioned earlier, this is probably where we'll be delivering incremental benefit, and you'll only realise benefit at the end of the delivery phase. One thing that a lot of people are using is benefit reviews. Now, management processes is needed to ensure that the benefits are reviewed, and they generally say there are 2 circumstances where they'll be reviewed. So they have scheduled reviews, so looking at decision points in the project for the expected benefits, and they look and examine them as part of the review. So at each stage, careful consideration is needed regarding the expected benefits are still available and are still sufficient to compensate for any increased expected costs of the project. And then we have as well unscheduled reviews, and these tend to be triggered whenever a significant event occurs that could potentially affect the expected benefits. So again, if there's a major change within the project, you will probably do an unscheduled review because it will have been triggered by the change in project. We also have a benefits realization report. So this report, it should be produced once the business changes have been implemented, and it is used to provide a clear assessment of whether the predicted benefits have been realized or not. And there tends to be 4 key uses. So the first one is to identify any additional actions that could have been taken to realize any predicted benefits that have not yet been achieved. And the example we have here is additional training or support might be required for business staff if they are not making full use of the new IT system that's just been installed, for example. Second, so it's to reassure decision makers in the wider organisation that the time, effort and the cost of the project has been justified. So I read that as it's a bit of a mop up to show what's been done, how much you've spent, the time and effort resource wise we've put in versus the benefits that we're now seeing. And the third, so to provide input to future business cases and future projects to improve success rate. So again, I personally, if I can use something that has been created before and looks like a fit that only needs maybe a couple of tweaks to it, like a name change, etc., chances are I will use it instead of trying to reinvent the wheel every time that I'm writing something. And I don't just obviously do this for business cases, but I do this for like tenders and bits like that, because it just helps me save a bit of time, especially when, for example, circumstances are still the same. So if we still have the same skill set within the team, I don't need to rewrite it 10 different times in 10 different ways just because it's been a change of day. I'll just reuse that piece and pop that in there. And obviously, once you've had a successful project, business case, etc., and you know that it works, as it says, it would improve the success rate because you've already used the context in one space and it's been successful. So automatically it just improves that success rate there. And then the fourth, so it enables the organisation over time to improve the capability for choosing which projects to undertake. So if your project has been quite a risky one, or there was levels of ambiguity, but it was successful, you could use that as a baseline to obviously go back and say to your senior management team, we did this project before and it worked, it turned out okay, we didn't really go over budget, for example. And it just allows you a bit of a breathing space and a bit of a mark in your corner to be able to say, let's go again on a different project because we've proved before we can do it, etc. So it's just having that in your back pocket as a showcase, really, that things can work. So this slide just provides a couple of examples of some benefits. So we've got tangible and intangible benefits. And we can see that, for tangible, so we've got staff savings, reduced effort and improved speed of working, faster responses to customers, reduced accommodation costs, reduced inventory. And intangible, so increased job satisfaction, improved customer satisfaction, better management information, greater organisational flexibility, more problem solving time, improved presentation or better market image and better communications. So they're just a few that you can use. Obviously these might not be relevant to every business case that you use, but just gives you an idea. So Ward and Daniel in 2006 proposed a sophisticated approach to benefits categorization. It's especially useful in benefits management and realisation. And they have 4 categories of benefit. So we have financial, so these are benefits that are provable in advance of undertaking the project and can be expressed in financial terms. So again, example could be staff savings or the running costs to be saved by closing a building. We have quantifiable, so some benefits are provable in advance, but it may be difficult to put a financial value on it. And an example here might be a reduction in the number of accidents, or the ability to identify health issues before they become a problem. Brand strength and the value of reputation would also fall into this category. And then we have measurable. So sometimes it is possible to measure something before undertaking a project and measure again afterwards as well. So we can see what the benefits have been, but it's also difficult to prove in advance what the benefits will be achieved. So an example of this is an organisation may know its current volume of sale orders over the internet and believe that a better website would improve this. However, whether it does or not, it can only be proven once that new website is up and running, and obviously customers are using it. And then the last category is observable. So specific individuals or groups of people are asked to use their experience and judgment to assess whether the benefit has been realised and to what extent. In this situation, it is important that clear assessment criteria must be devised in advance that the assessors will use in reaching their judgments. So this is where in your organisations, you might turn around and use a group of subject matter experts to help you determine whether this benefit has been realised. Just an example there. But you can see there are a number of type of benefits that you can use, that you can call upon. And although, as we've mentioned before, not all of them will be known from the beginning, some of these can interlink without you realising until you look at the bigger picture at the end and do that mop-up activity and see, oh, right, okay, so actually by improving, for example, job satisfaction, that's had a better input into customer satisfaction, because what we tend to say is when the employees are happy at work, they provide a better service to our customers. So benefits realisation, and why does it matter? So it helps an organisation track goals against benefits whilst maintaining their strategic course. It helps get the best value from IT-enabled initiatives. We've spoke about the layer of governance that it can add and support in those outcomes. And it is closely linked with value creation and value realisation. So benefits realisation doesn't end with project delivery, as I keep saying. I feel like you'll get sick of me saying that, but it is very important that we understand that once the date comes of the project finishing, we don't just automatically assume, right, okay, that's it, forget about it. All IT investments have a life cycle, and you manage the benefit across the whole of the life cycle. So you even look at how, for example, you're going to retire a product, and what's the benefit of you doing that? What's the benefit of it to the business? So it helps the organisation keep the goals against what it's trying to deliver and maintain. So if you're looking at improved productivity, you might be putting in an application that makes it easier to operate, it easier for staff using it, customers using it. But you have to make sure that when it's in, it actually does what it needs to do, so it's fit for purpose, fit for use, and it does have that increased productivity. Or do people just get bored with it because it's just another change? So we often hear that organizations are actually changing things a lot, and people stop seeing the benefit because it's changing. So, for example, an IT system, every 2-3 years, a company's changing their IT system. The employees will find it hard to start to understand the benefit of changing this many times, and you would start to see that they'll get bored with it. Oh, it's another IT system, and they lose interest. So you have to make sure that what you're doing is right, not only for the business, but right for your people as well. And making sure that if it's been raised that something is a particular issue, obviously you would try and mitigate that issue within the business case and the plan, etc. And obviously start to make it more of a benefit, flip it on its head, so that you get that employee buy-in as well, and obviously the productivity out of them at the end. You're wanting to get value from your IT. And, you know, again, many of us have run IT projects that overrun. Could be cost-wise, it could be budget-wise, could be everything. And how many of us have delivered something and then it's gone wrong? We didn't expect it to go wrong. I know I certainly have. And it's all part of the management of, you know, what's the benefit? How do I fix it? What do I need to do? And again, that layer of governance. But again, everything is also linked back to, with benefits, is linked back to value as well. So you can see in a second, these are just a couple of squares where we have thought about things that we've done in the past, and it's had an improvement. So we've had improved customer satisfaction, improved employee satisfaction, which is obviously equally as important as well, the improved productivity, revenue generation, performance, competitiveness, environmental impact. Obviously, sustainability is a big thing at the moment, and we're all looking at ways in which we can help, especially help the planet. So looking at our environmental impact, you know, how many environmental benefits can we get out of things as well now? Improved supply chain and social standard as well. So how are benefits and value linked? So we identify the possible benefit, identify the value it's going to create, understand how that value will be realised, confirm the benefit has been realised, and then confirm that value has been realised. So again, this is just my own take on how benefits and value are linked together. I'm not saying that this is gospel, so please use it how you wish. So say, for example, for this flow, we're going to say that we're going to do something that we believe is going to save an employee 10 hours of time. So is that a value relating to money, or is it relating to labour time? It could be both, it could be more as well. But here we identify the value as being the value being we'll save the 10 hours, which is the money terms, the hourly rate. So because we're saving 10 hours worth of money, how do we realise it? Is it going to be realised that we're going to get an extra bunch of money in the pot? So sometimes when we're looking at these things, we report obviously back to various people that have got a vested interest. So it could be that finance obviously got an interest in it, and might be saying, you know, great, you're saving 10 hours worth of wages here, so we can put that into our spreadsheet to calculate that. Or is it that we're going to free up that person's time so they can do other work? So, you know, for example, if we automate the mundane tasks, that then frees up that person to be able to go and do something. So, for example, more troubleshooting with customers, if it's a service desk analyst, or they may be able to go and do something else that provides value back to the business. So again, it's what's the benefit, what's the value, and then we're looking at, has the benefit been confirmed? So the fact that we'll save 10 hours of time, the way that we do it, yes, that person's got 10 hours extra of time. We say extra of time, obviously not technically extra of time, but they've got that time there to be able to do something that's more value add. And then confirm that the value has been realised. So by them doing another task, so for example, going back to the service desk analyst, if they're doing that troubleshooting, more troubleshooting with customers, you know, that's that value back to the business, because they're being able to fix more problems at a first line level. It's saving a delay, it's improving customer satisfaction. So the benefit and the value of doing that are both then confirmed and linked nicely together there as well. And then obviously it starts again, start the loop again on something new. So again, identify the possible benefit, and then go through the cycle again. So taking a look at value realization. So what is value realization? So when looking at value realization, there are two views in my eyes that we must consider. So firstly, from the organization's perspective, so how do we measure value realization? So by tracking the value a business or stakeholder receives, they are provided a tangible way to track the actual business impact an initiative has on customers, operations, and also shareholders. And we also have to look at this from the customer or consumer's viewpoint as well. So at what point does the customer realise or understand the value that they are receiving? And the customer realises that they have made a good purchase, and then they see that they've bought value from the organisation. So you may have heard value propositions, and value propositions are the customer's perspective with regard to an organisation. So again, it just backs up what I said a moment ago about the customer being able to translate the value they are receiving and realise, for example, the purchase or being able to use a service with ease, that's their perspective on the organization. So it can also, value realization can also help with summarizing why customers choose to work with certain organizations and what the customers want from each of them. So we can look at that viewpoint. And at the moment, every market, obviously I talk from the experience in IT and telecommunications, the market is very competitive at the moment. So value propositions also help to identify why a customer would purchase from one supplier rather than another. And it's something that we have looked at, well, I've looked at over the past couple of weeks, looking at what makes another supplier or company look more attractive than the other. And a couple of examples of value propositions. So consider the reasons why different groups of customers would choose to buy their weekly food shopping from one supermarket than the other. And one group requires a supermarket where the prices are competitive and the range of products are extensive, whereas the other group might focus on reasonable prices are more important, but the high product quality is vital to them. And then you could have a third group that just requires that the supermarket is local, does not require them to travel. Price is a factor, but the ease and location is the main point for them. And I think for us as businesses, we need to definitely understand value propositions, as they can really add to our processes and also help us when it comes to reviewing processes and being able to identify improvement areas. So when analysing value propositions, the first thing obviously to consider is the identification of the customers. So who are our customers? And I know for me, internally at work, I can sit there and kind of draw up a picture of who our customers would be for our IT and security services. So we would know who we're targeting and who obviously we're trying to attract, and that would help us with, say, for example, even things such as our marketing material and how we respond to tenders, just little bits like that, so we understand who the customer is and have an idea of their needs, I suppose, before even really knowing. So the term value, it's defined as the benefit that is derived by an organisation's stakeholder while interacting with the organisation. And again, across ITIL 4, BCS, project management, I've seen there's a different, obviously, variations of how value is defined. There's only slight variations, though majority of the time that they come to the same conclusion. So again, don't take what I say as gospel. There are going to be variations out there. So it includes both the final delivery of value and any interim deliveries of value. And value should be fundamental to everything that an organisation does. Again, we touched on it in a couple of slides ago, where if we're doing something, what's the benefit? It's also what's the value as well. And the approach taken to developing a value stream or a set of value streams is to first identify the value for the specific stakeholders. and explore this via the idea of value propositions and work backwards to identify key stages within the sequence that are necessary to deliver that value. So again, value proposition. So just to give you a view, so when out analysing value propositions, we know that the first thing we're going to do is consider the identification of the customers. So on here, we've got the owner, the partner, the end customer. And then the 3 value categories shown highlight the key areas where customers have a requirement that they would like the organisation to meet. So a combination of these factors help to define each value proposition. A comparison of these factors may cause customers to switch suppliers if they feel that their value proposition is better met elsewhere. Owners who are investors will want to feel that this is a reputable organisation that delivers good financial return and provides timely reports to its investors. And value proposition analysis is used to highlight what an organisation or part of one is required to deliver to its customers. So the range and nature of those customers and the value propositions they have is also clarified by the analysis as well. So you can see on the screen, so like for the end customer, you know, if timing is really important to them, so being able to get products like that. So for example, this is really where the likes of your Amazon have taken over because they can deliver things very quickly. So next day, for sometimes very little cost as well. Sometimes they even do same day delivery. Again, for your end customers, so financial, so the price of the product, you see it on telly all the time. For example, the supermarkets, they're always saying, oh, you know, price drop here, we're cheaper than so-and-so. So it causes that thought in your mind, oh, well, actually, if this one's cheaper than the other, I'll try there this week. And then the quality, so quality of products and services. So again, we had the group in the last slide that was saying, you know, quality is key for them. Now, everybody has their own opinion on quality, especially if it comes to supermarkets. So it's kind of a hard one, but obviously, again, during adverts and stuff, you will always see supermarkets not only say that they're competitive on their price, but they'll also say our quality of products is better than everybody else out there. And again, so just a quick look at the owner. So for the quality of reputation of the organisation, if you know that an organisation has got a bad reputation, or you know people that have used them and had a bad experience, that will obviously change your mind into whether you want to use them or not. You'll also obviously be looking at, can they report on like financial reports on times and returns, you know, or the legislation side of it, because again, you wouldn't want to be involved with organisations that are not able to keep to timings, sets bad precedent, level of dividend. And I won't go into partner because I don't want to obviously dwell too much on there, but you know, timing and receipt of information of goods, your discount rate, quality of service to partner. So I do want to take you back in time for this example. And you'll see on the left-hand side there is an image of an iPod. So we can see here we have storage for 1 gig of MP3s versus 1,000 songs in your pocket. So here the selling point for this example is the 1 gig of storage. Now, for me, and this is because I'm not techie, this sort of level of detail doesn't personally interest me. Obviously, everybody is different. But I would say that the 1 gigabyte of storage is from a business perspective. So this is what you would see as part of the specification. And as I say, some people resonate with this and would see the value of this feature. But the question that the business, in my eyes, would need to ask themselves is, can anybody relate to this and see value this feature would bring them? So this is where the flip side. So 1,000 songs in your pocket. Having 1,000 songs easily accessible in your pocket, customers are more likely to relate to this. And I suppose now, obviously, we've moved away from iPods, and now everything is just on your phone, very accessible. You can do anything from here: emails, texts, calls, listen to music, listen to the radio, YouTube, whatever you want. But obviously, that's why I said I'd take you back in time, because when we were not as advanced in technology and having one single device in our pockets, and this is what the way that the world was, and we were obviously having to carry around MP3s or CD players, etc. You know, what would make you stop and think, oh, actually, yeah, that's really good value. You know, I'm only paying, say, for example, £100 and I can have 1,000 songs in my pocket. That's a really good deal. Obviously now you can relate it to for example, the iPhones now, with the amount of storage that you get. So obviously the more storage you want, you pay for a higher price. That will obviously, for people that are really savvy with the technical jargon and slang and bits, that they will think, oh yeah, you know, I can get 250 terabyte of storage on my phone and I'm carrying it all around with me, and that's great. Again, for me, and this is why sometimes I do enjoy like the dumbed down marketing, I'm going to say, that they do, where they take you through and say, right, you know, this is what you'd be able to do with this amount of storage. That's where I can then relate. And I suppose these things are big purchases nowadays. You know, phones are never cheap. Sometimes you can be looking at nearly £1,000 just for a phone. And customers like to, or certainly I know that I do, like to have the peace of mind that what they're buying will meet their needs. And again, so going back to the iPhone, I always use iPhone for the past, I think, 10 years now. So for me, Apple is a reputable brand. I know that because I've had several phones with them, that they're good value for money. So obviously, as technology is advancing, I'm hoping that I will see the benefit with, for example, a faster processor in there, for better camera, wide lens camera, front facing, all of these features, you know, seeing the benefit of the upgrade and also getting the value back. So when I'm FaceTiming friends or FaceTiming family, you know, I'm getting that clear picture, good connectivity for if I want to transfer it to another Apple device, all these little things. And I think they've quite cleverly built a brand that is rather solid. For me anyway, that was just my personal example and experience there. I know some people are pro other companies, and that's absolutely fine. So I'll take you through the other example I've got on the right hand side here. So we've got plan, do, check, act. So within my organisation, we definitely do a lot of process improvements. So if in your organisation you were to make a process improvement, which would result in a 10% reduction in your department's operating costs, you would obviously present this to your management team and highlight the reduction in spending. But you would also then go and highlight it to other key stakeholders, such as finance, so they can adjust the budgets based on the information. You'd also maybe have the accounting team as well, if they sit separately to finance. Some do, some don't. So you could show reductions in the P&L, and all aspects of the organisation are realising the value the improvement has made. So it's not just siloed in your specific area. Everybody can see the value that it's had. So why should you adopt value realisation? So value realisation enables quantifiable value and provides evidence of progress by using meaningful metrics such as revenue, expense, customer retention, and obviously more. Organisations must be flexible and willing to change to become effective as possible. And I find that one the most difficult. Some organisations and some people are also stuck in their ways, and it has to be a cultural change as well that the organisation has to undertake, not just the change that they were initially hoping to take. And people, again, I have mentioned this earlier, but people must understand why the change should happen and what's in it for them. A lot of the time, people will not do anything without knowing what the benefit or value is to them. And I completely get it. Time is precious. Why would you want to, waste your time doing something that you aren't going to get any value, benefit, enjoyment out of doing? So it's one of the things that we definitely have to have documented, make clear to people. Obviously that comes with when you're communicating plans, you're communicating everything, not just giving sparse and ambiguous information, because that's when people can obviously be negative towards any change as well. And then it turns into a bit more of a back and forth if you can't provide all the information to begin with. I tend to find once you give everybody the information, they kind of go away, digest it, and you kind of get a few less questions around what's happening. But obviously you'd have the information there to be able to give them and just explain it anyway. So what are the benefits of adopting value realisation? So customers can discover quantified economic value they didn't previously recognise in your offerings. So it's always a learning day, especially for the customers as well. So you can gain a better understanding of your clients' needs by asking them about their strategic goals and initiatives and making sure you're delivering against those KPIs. Now, I find this one very interesting because a lot of the time we can be quick to just assume what our customers want. And I feel that we need to probably just take a bit of a pause button sometimes to actually sit down with them and ask them the key information such as, so for example, for me, asking customers, what is your IT digital roadmap looking like for the next 5 years? Do you need help with it? We have in the IT space, everything is changing all the time. Nothing sits still for more than 5 minutes before there's something else coming in and we're changing again. So being able to support customers in that way, obviously making sure that when we are talking to our customers, we have that relationship and that rapport with them, that they see us as more of a partnership. So their problem is our problem, and we want to obviously fix that problem. And they will then see the value of us being there as that partnership. And you never know, they may take more services from you, they may buy more products from you. They may refer you to other organizations. They may go home, talk to their partners, and they might say, oh, well, I've had that issue at my place, maybe we should look at using them. Possibilities are endless. But yes, by gaining that understanding, you can come up with KPIs with the customer, so that then you can track things and you can make sure that you're on target for things that the company commits to helping, commits to delivering against. You can proactively prevent churn within your own organization by addressing problems, uncovering gaps, and also prevent the churning customers as well, because you can uncover those gaps in the value that you've promised versus the value that's been achieved. And that will in turn obviously improve satisfaction as well, because you've realized, okay, hold on a moment, you've not quite got everything you need from us. Let us work together to obviously get that to where it should be, and you're fully realizing the value then. It can also reduce customer acquisition costs and increase profits by retaining and expanding customers more effectively. So, as I mentioned previously, if you are working as a partnership with your customer and not just as a supplier, you can leverage the fact that you have a better understanding of them, and that you can look at ways to upsell your services. And again, you can utilize information that you have to retain them when it comes up. For example, if they were going at contract was coming to an end, you've got that insider information, you can go and present a roadmap of how you're going to help them get to where they want to be, etc. They'll see the value of having you there, and the chances are they'll stay with you because they're happy. I tend to find that customers will stay where they are happy. They don't like the upset of having to move a lot, so it can be a lot of hard work. So if they can be happy with you, chances are they will stay. Price obviously is a big one as well, because obviously everyone's looking to reduce their costs, but they don't want to. Nobody really wants to pay through the roof for the value. They kind of want an even break of getting the value that they need out of an organization and the cost there as well that they're having to pay. Again, that is just my personal view on that. You may have a different experience as well. So the wheel is back, but this time we are looking at value realization. So again, value definition, although these have come up in the wrong order, so I do apologize. So determining the metrics the customer uses to measure success and how you'll measure the value you provide. Providing the value your sales team promised during pre-sale by helping the customer adopt and use the product or service. Very key one. Again, from personal experience, sometimes found that as soon as you have purchased something, whether that be the product or service, you are then left in the wild to just figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with it. And sometimes that support is not there, so it's just making sure that you're the helping hand. Again, you'll be able to help them see the value from the product or service they've taken. And you can sometimes, manipulate that as well a little bit, so you can show them more than what they probably want, which might overwhelm them to start with, but then they start to use more features, for example, of the product or service that you've provided. So the value realization, so when the customer realizes the value delivered from the product or service, again, this might not be a day one dot thing. It may be that customers need a couple of months in from using a product or service to fully feel the effect and the value. So validating the value, so confirming with the customer they've received the value they wanted. So again, you know, for example, for me, we would use service reviews with our customers to be able to say, okay, you know, for example, you're taking out this new service with us. How are you finding it? Have you got any pain points? Is there anything you need help with? Do you need maybe some coaching, some training from us for your members of staff so that they know how to use and fully utilize the product service? You know, make sure that they're getting the best value out of it. Because the other thing you have to be careful of is sometimes, and this goes with benefits as well, so sometimes with benefits and value, the people that you may seek to build these around might not be actually the end user. You can sometimes find it's a sponsor, so you just have to be careful that actually the people that are using it are getting the full value, and you know, we're not missing a trick here, and they're left we've got the sponsor thinking everything's great, that's all fine, you know, value is delivered, and then we've got, on the other hand, the end users actually using it that are still pulling their hair out thinking this product service isn't actually providing me with what I need. And then improving the value the customer receives. And again, the process should never really end. So are they the same thing? So in simple terms, no. However, they are linked. So benefits are what the business realizes and experiences as a result of the changes that were implemented by effective transformation. And on the other hand, value is the benefit the customer will be able to experience and what they're willing to pay for. So just an important distinction there for you. And then I know I'm over time, I've just seen the message, so I will just quickly rattle through any food for thought. So are we doing enough to realise benefits? Should we be linking them, and if so, why? And how do we justify what projects or work gets approval to proceed? And how is our value creation identified and measured? And how do we manage benefits through the life cycle? And that's everything from me. Sorry for going over. I do apologise.
Thank you, Maria. It was very interesting, and we would listen for you for another hour, but I'm sorry we have to end now.
No, that's fine.
So to Women Power Up Network, you definitely benefited, and you brought us a very big value. So I'm really happy that you joined us today and shared your knowledge and best industry practices with us. And I am handovering you the certificate of appreciation by Women Power Up Network for presenting at our event. So thank you, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Priya?
Yes,
I give you the word now.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Mariana. And over to Grace for introducing the event for October. Grace?
Hi, Priya. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Maria, for such an insightful session. It was really, really eye-opening. Thank you so much. It was really nice listening to you for the past hour and a half. I will hope to see you around more. Sorry, I'm with my kids and on the road. My apologies for the noise. Yeah. Our next event will be coming up in October. and it's going to be with Fumza Diani. She is a board member of PanFit Africa, and she's also ranked top 100 women in leadership award by PMI. I hope to see you at the event. Thank you. Sorry for the noise again.
No problem, Grace. I'll take it over. And this event is going to be on a very exciting topic to say positive masculinity. I am very eager to know what that is all about. So don't forget to register for this event. You can scan the QR code, or I'm going to put the link to register on the chat window soon, and we can take it forward from there. And we are a little over time, but nevertheless, this was a very good event. Yeah, please do feel free to take the feedback again, and let us know what you think about these events. Do watch our social media handles for more for our next event, which is on October 7th. And I'm going to post a link to register on the chat window soon. And with that, we will wrap up. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Maria, for that wonderful session. I did have a lot of questions, but unfortunately, because we are out of time, we are not able to take the discussion forward. Everyone, if you want to know more about value realization and benefit management, how you can make this more impactful, feel free to connect with Maria on LinkedIn or post us a message, question. We will be happy to take this forward with Maria and get them answered. And I see Cecilia also joining in. So thank you, Cecilia, for joining in. Hopefully,
you're welcome.
Yeah, and before we wrap up, if everyone can open up their videos, so we can take a group picture and we can wrap up. Yeah, Mariana is here. Mariam? Okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
Others, anything that anyone else wants to open up their camera? Okay, looks like no. So we will take a group picture. Then let me do a hide. Oh, there it is. I see the people coming up. Hello. Yeah. So, Cecilia, would you like to take a picture? You're on mute, Cecilia. I can't hear you. Shivantika, you want to come on camera? And Shingo Fuji, he has joined in from Japan. Shivantika from Sri Lanka. Have you taken the picture, Cecilia, or you want me to take it? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
I could take a couple of pictures, but
okay, thank you.
You can take two.
Yeah, so let me do one, at least one. Okay, I did. So thank you everyone for joining. There is Shivantika now coming in. We can't see Shivantika anyways. So thank you everyone for joining in. We will see you again next month with another exciting topic and an inspiring woman leader. With this, see you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Nice session.
Bye, session. Bye.